All right, today we are going to do a quick video on balancing tires. And, most importantly, Truggy tires are so big. They really do. They will shake your Truggy tremendously if you don't balance them. So they really do. It's essential to balance a Truggy tire. Anything smaller and you can probably get away with it. I like to balance my 8 scale eBuggy as well. And when I get really ambitious, I'll do my 10 scales, but these Truggy wheels are very important to balance. So right here, this is actually a prop balancer. It's a Dubro prop balancer. I'll put a link in the description for people that want to buy it. But this is what I use. And before you start using this thing, it is important to make sure that it's level. And it's pretty, I just stick a little level right here on this cross shaft, and it's, pretty level, but you can adjust these screws here and raise it or lower it to help. Okay, I went too high, but anyway, you can adjust it to get it fairly, it doesn't have to be perfect, but close. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty close. And then the other thing to note is, in order to put a 8 scale rim on this, I'm going to use one of the wheel adapters from the car, and I stick it in this wheel backwards, and that's just because otherwise these cones, they point at each other and there's just not enough meat inside of here and they'll bottom out and not work. So I just stick this wheel adapter from an 8 scale buggy in here, and you push it all the way down, and like I said, I put it backwards, and then you feed this thing, this cone comes off, and so you put this cone here and you feed the short end on the dish side through here, and then you stick this other cone like so, then this spring washer and this little rubber thing, and you stick it on there, and then you can stick it on the balancer, and you can see as we start spinning it, let's turn it that way, you can see that it's gonna stop on a high point. So I think I'm gonna go this way. But yeah, you can see that this thing, it finds, fell off the discs. It'll find a spot that is a little bit heavier, and how quickly it oscillates back and forth will tell you how much clay you're gonna need to balance these. And so for the clay, I use just standard modeling clay. You can get it from Target, Walmart, order it off of Amazon. So I just use some standard modeling clay. And they sell balancing clay, but I find when it's targeted for RC, it costs a lot more. Anyway, I'm gonna move my camera because I want to be able to shoot into here when I make this video for you guys, and so you can really see what we need to do to balance these. All right, so I got this camera now set up so you can somewhat see in the wheel, and you can see if I move this, it's gonna go back down to that point, and we can kind of speed it up by just slowing it down. But anyway, right there is that low point of the tire. So then is what you do once you get this thing to stop moving, then you can identify that like right here is, so this thing will stop moving, and then you can just kind of grab this right here, and you know that's where you're gonna want to put the clay. So you want to put that clay on the top side. And I'm going to take this much clay. You know, it's a little bit smaller than a marble. And I'm going to push it into this area. This time it's kind of like right in the corner, so you can see, push it in there. Then you stick this thing back on the balancer, and we kind of see, wow, that's actually, I guessed, okay, maybe a little bit too much clay. But that's pretty darn good. I'm gonna, yeah, so this is what you want to do is you want to kind of test this thing in the 4 quadrants, and you can see like it goes down pretty heavy right there. Over in this quadrant, it also goes down kind of heavy. So then is what I'll do, if it's too heavy, is I'll take an X-Acto knife and I'll just shave a little bit of this clay out. So I pulled that out. You can see now there's like a little notch in the top there. It's important too that the side with the short end of the balance shaft, like it's important to make sure that the sidewall of the tire isn't rubbing when you do this. Yeah, I think still just a little bit too heavy, so I'll shave off just a little more. Clay is being difficult. Okay, so we'll take that off just a little bit. This thing is still, well, I'm going to shave a little more off. It's getting pretty close. Alright, we'll take a little more off of there. Wow, that looks really good. That's interesting. I think still maybe just a little bit too much. Let's shave a little more off. It is interesting trying to do this through the camera lens. Yeah, I think just a little more. Man, I thought this was closer, but I guess I'm being too conservative on how I shave. All right. That. You know, I'm gonna say it's not perfect, but that's pretty good. So you just want to be able to move this clay, and ideally you'd move it in the 4 quadrants, and that wouldn't move at all. Like, it's moving a little bit there. It's almost acting like now I don't quite have enough. And sometimes sometimes it takes 2 spots. But anyway, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to get it better. This one was pretty, you can see like this one required quite a bit. This one, it required 2. That one, quite a bit. So anyway, you just want to get these things to where they're close. And, you know, once you balance these, if you throttle up your car with these on and they're unbalanced, it's going to really shake your suspension a lot. And then once you get these balanced, it's going to shake your suspension a lot less. And the theory here is if the tires are shaking your suspension, it's going to unsettle your car. And so this should just help you have a more planted car for better handling on the track. So anyway, I hope you find this video useful, and make sure you balance your Truggy wheels and tires. Thanks for tuning in.